Hey everybody, welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie, Jessica.
You are.
Surprise!
You're knocked up. Okay, so this video is surprise pregnancy, surprise baby, not secret baby. So this is where they should find out that they're pregnant in the book, and it is a surprise. And you typically see the pregnancy through the book, or at least halfway through to the end, or whatever. So, here we go. You guys, I know there's people out there that just hate this trope, but you guys seem to love them. They are some of our highest rating videos. So we're giving you 10 more surprise pregnancy trope or videos, books. Recommend. What the hell are we doing? Again, I'm in the warehouse. There's an echo. I just got home from Florida and I don't even know what time it is. So, I'm a little off.
Okay.
Before we get started with all this craziness,
Well, we would love for you to hit that subscribe button. So
yeah.
please do.
Mhm.
And be in the know when we have all the great book recs. So hit that subscribe button and we would love for you to like and comment. We have done this video. We have a lot of these out. So make sure you also check that playlist if you're looking for more recs and haven't seen our other videos.
Yeah, for sure. And again, I know there might be an echo. I apologize. It's just part of filming
Oh,
in the
and
warehouse.
tell us in the comments, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the surprise or the secret?
Yeah, what's your favorite out of those two? Like
Yeah.
I like the secret, baby. I mean, I like them
I
both,
like
but
it only when there's a really good explanation. If the woman is
shoot.
just being a bitch, I'm not okay with that.
I don't even need a really good explanation because it's fiction and whatever. But I do get it.
I do,
I get
or I
this in
get
point of view.
mad at her.
Eh, it's all good. I like the angst of it, and I want that baby hidden. Like yeah, I like it. But anyhow, but I also like pregnancy in books, and so I like this one too.
I
So
need there to be a good reason so then when she comes back into the picture with the child or baby, depending on how quick she does, he can get over it. But if
but I
she
don't
was
want him
just
to get
being a
over it. I
bitch,
want him to be
it's
mad.
harder.
Like I want him to be mad, but that's a whole different video. So let's get back into this
Yeah,
one
but
because
if
that's not
he's
what this one
mad
is.
the whole time, then they're not going to end up back together, and then there's no
Oh, but he needs to be
Tia.
mad for a while. Like being mad for all of 3 seconds doesn't work for me. So he's got to be mad for a while. Bring some of that angst.
Well, yeah, I think you would be mad regardless.
Some of them they get over it pretty quickly. So okay. Well, let's talk about surprise pregnancy though, which is different than what we're talking about. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So the first one that I have is one that I've talked about quite a bit, but if I didn't talk about this one, I wouldn't have enough recommendations for you guys. So we're going to talk about it again because this was in our cowboy video as well. This is Huckleberry Hill by Emma Slate. And I will say the second book, so this whole series is going to be Surprise Pregnancy. And the second book comes out on December 1st, which I'm dying for. I really hope I get the arc, but who knows? Because Emma doesn't know who we are. So anyhow, so this is Huckleberry Hill. And this is about Hadley and Declan. So Hadley has been engaged. She's been living with her twin sister in New York for several years, and she's been dating this guy. And she found out that she cannot have a baby. She cannot get pregnant. She believes herself to be infertile. She's gone to two doctors, and they told her that she was infertile. And so her fiance basically broke up with her over that. And now he has taken the trip that they had planned to take to Italy, and she is going back home for a month to lick her wounds. So her dad has a ranch with her grandma in Idaho, and she flies out there in the middle of the night. I mean, it's the middle of the night when she gets there, but it's like a 6-hour flight. So, or 5-hour flight. So she flies out there, takes a taxi to the house and doesn't want to wake up the dad and grandma. And so she decides that she's going to go into the little cabin that they have down the road. And as she's doing that, she gets chased down by a bear. And then the door flings open and she lands on top of a Studley rancher. And that is Declan. And he is a rodeo guy who is retired and now he is working on the ranch. But they are not allowed to have any kind of relations per her father. He said he would fire him if he found out that Declan was anywhere near his daughter. And they don't listen to that. And let's just say that his pullout game is not that strong, but his sperm sure is. So That infertility gets fixed right away
Wow.
when she finds out she's pregnant.
What a way to sell that book.
I'm telling you, I loved it. I mean, I loved it. I cannot wait for the second book. It's her twin sister who's a riot and a half. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to have to add that to my TBR.
Well, you know how with CR Janes, we love the good guy group, right? The texting in the guy group. You get that in this book, but you get it with the girlfriends. There's 4 girlfriends. They'll eventually all get a book with a rancher, but they're all in New York. And you get that same text kind of thread feel and that the girls feel. I really enjoyed that in these books. So, okay. What do you got for your first book?
Okay. My first book is Dante by Sadie Kincaid. This checks off like all the check marks for you, Jessica, because we have Mafia, we have Captor Captive, and then we have the surprise baby. So this is Dante and Kat. So Dante takes Kat to repay her brother's debt. And he uses her for his pleasure. And I think he's starting to kind of come around to her a little bit. She's starting to come around to him a little bit, but she's still being held there captive. And she finds out that she's pregnant. So she decides that this is no way to raise a baby. I'm going to flee. So she tries to run, and Dante is not happy about that. And he catches her and he makes her life pretty miserable. There are a few things about Dante that you should know is he doesn't give a fuck about anything or feelings or doing the right thing. He has really not a lot of morals in that area. So the way he does treat Kat is pretty bad a good chunk of the book, and there's really not a lot of groveling, but I still really enjoyed it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. Some good stuff in that one. Yeah. Okay, so the next book that I have is Tiny Precious Secrets by Samantha Christie. So this is her book 4, and my finger won't work. There we go. But this is book 4 in the Brothers of Callaway Creek, the Montana Brothers, or Montanans, I guess is what it is. You can read it as a standalone. This is about Allie and Asher. So they have been having a secret relationship for years. They'll meet up when they travel for work. Allie doesn't really want to commit. She doesn't want to have, she has trauma. Let's just put it that way. She has trauma from losing a baby shortly after birth. And so she has a hard time committing. And Asher is a single dad to a 13-year-old who he has full custody of. The mom is not in the picture. She took off and left. And his 13-year-old doesn't like it when he's dating, and she does everything she can to break up those relationships. And so they have kept their relationship a secret for quite a while. When Allie finds out that she is pregnant, and so for her, this is very traumatic. She's very scared. She's, this is not what she wanted. She never wants to go through what she went through before. And Asher has to figure out how to get his daughter on board with this whole situation. And they live in different states. So how is that going to work? So, there's their book.
All right. Okay. Well, next up I have Only for Tonight by Natasha Madison. Ariella and Jackson, their parents have known each other. Their parents actually have books. So this is like second generation type thing. They have known each other their dads are friends. So they've known each other pretty much their whole lives. They run into each other at a big fancy event at this hotel. Jackson offers to drive Ariella home. She says, sure, and leads him to the elevator, and they go up in the elevator to her room at the hotel. And they have one night of passion. And he then leaves, goes back home. They live on opposite coasts. She then finds out she's pregnant. So she does the right thing. She flies out to where he lives in California to tell him that she's pregnant. She doesn't just send him a text or anything like that. So she shows up on his doorstep. He answers. And when she looks kind of past his shoulder, she sees this woman walking down the stairs in nothing but Jackson's t-shirt. And so she then freaks out like, wow, you have a girlfriend, you've knocked me up, what the hell? And so she just bolts. And then has to figure out how she wants to handle this situation. Jackson's kind of just left with like, what the hell's going on type thing here. And so the two obviously have a lot to figure out.
Obviously. Yeah. Okay, speaking of figuring things out, and this one communication would really help, but this is Secret Plunge by Jasmine Miller. This is the first book in her Kings of Water series. This is a series where all of the guys are Olympic swimmers. So this is about Harper and Ryan. So Harper is newly divorced, and she decides that she's going to go out with her best friend who's moving to the UK after the holidays, but it is New Year's Eve, and so they go out to a bar and she hooks up with Ryan. They have a one night stand. It's hot and sweaty and goes all night long, but she didn't want the awkwardness of it. And after being, newly divorced, and she didn't really date a lot before her husband. So, she sneaks out before the next morning, which was a huge mistake because they didn't exchange information. And then she finds out she's knocked up. So she decides that she's going to go back. Like, I think they're on the East Coast, and she goes to the West Coast to visit her father, who is a coach for, he's a swim coach for all of these big time athletes. And she gets there and she sees a billboard with Ryan on it. And then she comes to realize, after tracking her father down and going to the pool where he's at, that Ryan is one of his swimmers. And not only is he one of her dad's swimmers, he's the one that her dad has been complaining about the most. They butt heads quite often. Ryan is a two-time Olympic medalist, and he is wanting to go for a third time. And so she and him, they do meet up. They start talking. She tells him about the baby. But she keeps it a secret that she is the coach's daughter because she's afraid of what that will do for her father and for Ryan, which of course becomes an issue. But I still really enjoyed the book quite a bit. It was great.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, next I have The Sleepover by Daisy Jane. So this is a little bit taboo, but not really. It's step siblings, but they don't know each other. So we have Vivian. Vivian's dad has decided to uproot her entire life, her senior year, and move her across the country to Florida to live with his new wife. So she has not really met her new stepmom and all of that. So this is kind of like a whoa, all of a sudden happening to her. So they move. And her dad has been kind of strict with her a little bit, but in more like a loving way. Like she hasn't gotten a lot of freedom, but the two of them were pretty close. So now her stepmom is like, oh, let her go out with some new friends and meet people. So she goes out to this bonfire on the beach with some girls that she just met. And at bonfire, she meets this guy, Reed. And her and Reed hit it off, and she's determined not to continue to bring along her V card with her to her new school. So she decides to go ahead and do it on the beach, which let's just talk about that. Actually, let's not, because it's not good. I don't know why you would want to do that.
No.
Yes. So she ends up doing it with him at this bonfire. She goes home. And the next day, when she comes down for breakfast, she sees him sitting at her kitchen table, and she's a little thrown by this. And it turns out he is her new stepbrother. And if that doesn't make things complicated, shortly later, she is going to find out she's now pregnant. Surprise!
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes there's things written in books that are just not realistic.
I think we're too
which is
old.
not what is it? No, like there was one I read this week where she was a virgin and he did anal with her that night with no prep. Like what? What? First of all, who's doing that?
Oh, I thought you were referring to the beach.
Yeah, the beach. Like that's just not real. I mean,
Beach
people do it on the
sex.
beach. No, I wouldn't have done it when I was 20 on the beach. There's sand and crevices. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, but lots of people do it.
Yeah, I never did, and I do not regret not doing it that way. I'm just saying. Sand. I don't even like it stuck to my foot. Like I can imagine.
We also grew up with like the sand at our beaches around here is gross. Yeah. It's not like in how it is in other areas, but still I would not be interested.
No.
but
Yeah.
ours is much worse. So I think that probably has traumatized us.
My beaches here are rocky. They were rocky in Alaska too, but
Yeah, but
up
I mean,
here,
like the sand in
yeah,
Washington, the sand is gross.
yes,
It
it
sticks
is
to you differently. Like it's just awful. You go
gross.
to California, Florida, Texas, Hawaii, the sand is different.
Yeah, but I was just in Florida. I wouldn't want that sand and crevices either.
No, but I feel like we were traumatized as
Oh
children,
yes, yeah, I get that. Yeah,
and therefore maybe that's why.
because that's a no. All
I
right.
don't know. Oh, is
Well,
it my turn?
no, it's my turn.
Oh, okay.
You just finished.
I was getting ready to take a drink and I thought I wasn't supposed to.
No. Okay, so let's talk about my next book, which is By the Letter by Julia Wolf. I would say this is probably my favorite Julia Wolf that I've read of hers, and I've read several of hers. So this is about Shira and Roman. So Shira is shy and like debilitatingly so. And so she's a widow. And the situation was very interesting. She basically married her husband to be his caretaker. He was a lot older than her, like a lot older than her. And to the point where she has a stepdaughter who is actually a little bit, I think she was a little bit older than her by a couple of years. So Shira is decides that she's going to have this meetup with a guy that she's met online through an app. They use their symbols. They're not their real names. They use their names that they go by on the app. And when they meet up, it's at a sex club. It is the first time for both of them to do this, and there are masks worn, and they don't have anybody's info. Like they don't have each other's information. They don't know who each other is, and they don't see their faces. Well, a few months down the road, or not too long down the road, um, she's running her deceased husband's business when Roman comes in, and he is a friend of her husband's. Her husband actually encouraged him in a time when he was very down and out, and he really, because he was a pro athlete. He's no longer because of injuries, and he really needed that. So he feels like he really owes her husband something, like really owes him for that. And he is coming in to fix their business. Their business is going under. And when he comes in, he does not like Shira right off the bat. He thinks that she's a cold-hearted woman. He thinks she's a bitch. Part of that is because he is friends with the stepdaughter. And the other part is because of her debilitating shyness. And there's things set in or like in place around the office because everybody knows this and they want to help her out, but he mistakes it for just being a bitch. And so he finagles his way in and basically buys her out without her, like gets majority shares so that he can kick her out of the company. When he does that, she goes quietly, and then he comes to figure out that she is the girl from the one night stand that he cannot forget about at the sex club. Not only that, she's pregnant. And it just kind of starts a whole mess for them. So there's a lot of angst in this one, especially in the beginning when we see how shy she is and what like the way he treats her. You just want to throttle him. It's very angsty, her emotions and stuff. I really, really like that part of it. So
Okay. My next
mhm.
baby is one
Yeah.
of my favorite books
Okay.
that I've read in a long time.
Okay.
And that's Read
Okay.
by BJ Alpha. So Reed really likes women, like really likes them. He needs multiple women for his escapades. Should we call it that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, he ends up meeting a woman in a bar and they go up to the room, and it's the first time one woman has really done it for him, and he is quite enthralled with her. Maybe that's the right word. And the next day, when he wakes up, she's gone. No number, nothing. And he is devastated because he feels like this is the woman that just rocked his world when nobody else has been able to accomplish this. And he's pretty upset about it. Puts other members of the team on trying to track her down, even though they try and tell him, like, dude, if she wanted you to find her, she would have left information. Well, he is at a business deal, and when he walks into this business deal, he sees a woman sitting there, and it is her, and she is pregnant. Reed is a germaphobe. He, like, she has a child already. He goes to her house she's got a kid there, she has a dog, and he just really cannot handle this at all. And then he has to deal with the fact that she's having his kid, and he really doesn't want any part of this at all. And things get messy and complicated very quickly. And we start to see layers of Reed peeled back. And I loved it. Like, this baby, like, obviously babies are life changing, but this situation just really like helped Reed so much. Like, it was
He's
just
a
so
hoot.
good.
Yeah, I love his germaphobe craziness and just
Yes.
yeah.
Because he
Yeah.
tries and he's a mess at it.
Yeah, and in Mace's book, he's still trying and he's still making a mess of it. So I love it. So for my last recommendation, I'm gonna need you to plug your ears and hum.
Okay.
Just do it and don't question me.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
You can't read while you plug your ears and hum, can you?
I know. So
Yeah.
just let me look in my book. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, good. All right. So my next one is Mace, which I talked to BJ this morning and made sure it was okay because this is not listed as a trope on her list, but she was like, yes, 100%. This is a surprise pregnancy, and yes, you can use it for that. It can be read as a standalone. We suggest you read all of the Storm series in order, but BJ has said no worries. No worries. BJ has said that they can be read as standalones, and she markets them as such. But this again is Mace's book by BJ Alpha. This is about Summer and Mace. So Mace has been hurt by his ex-wife. He has been trying to get a divorce from her for quite a long time. She has strung him along. He has tried to make it work. He has been very faithful to her. He has not had sex in years because she doesn't want it from him while she's getting it from other people. They lost a baby years ago, and he just has some major emotional issues because of the way that she's treated him. She's pretty much abused him mentally and emotionally for years. But now that marriage is over, and he takes the advice of the guys that he works with, the other Storm guys, and he hires a girl from Indulgence, which is a sex worker app. And he asks for somebody very innocent, and he ends up getting Summer. Now they have a conversation together. They've been having conversations. She is selling her virginity because she's in a very bad situation and she's trying to save money for college, and she is trying to take care of the situation. So there are some secrets for both of them on both sides here. But they meet up. She shows up at this place. They have their one night stand. He and her, they go at it all night long. He does things that no virgin would ever want to do, but that's okay. We'll let him have it. And then they separate the next morning, and he can't stop thinking about her. But he doesn't know who she is. And so then we fast forward a few weeks. He goes to the reading of the will for his father, and come to find out that he does have a stepsister that he has to take custody of until she finishes school. Now he's thinking this is a kid, but it turns out when he gets to the house, there's a huge party going on, and that is where he finds Summer, who is his stepsister, who is in bed with another guy. And he freaks out. Now, what we realize very early on is that she is pregnant, and she keeps it from him for a little while. But yeah, not only is she his stepsister, but he has knocked her up, and now he has custody of her. So, God, it's so good. You guys have to read it. The whole series is amazing. You're good.
Okay. That was fun.
Well, you just didn't want, you don't want spoilers for anything. And I know this is something you want to read at some point. So
Okay.
I was keeping you from spoilers,
Thanks. I appreciate it.
even though the author said it's not a spoiler.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Are we ready?
I am ready for your last one.
Okay.
Okay.
So my last one is Home Run by Lulu Moore. And this is Millie and Tanner's story. So Tanner is baseball player. Millie is coming into town. Millie and Tanner have been kind of in the same circle of friends for a while. And Millie just thinks Tanner likes Millie, but Millie thinks that Tanner only likes her because he sees her as a conquest. And they have a lot of banter back and forth between the two of them. He ends up being the one who picks her up at the airport. And somehow during this drive, things kind of heat up between the two of them, and they go and they have sex. And things kind of go back to like how they would be, you know, everybody goes about their normal life. And then Millie finds out she is pregnant, and she has to go tell Tanner, but she does not want Tanner just to want to be with her because of the baby. And so there's like things to work out. Tanner moves her into his building because he wants to make sure that he can be close to her and the baby, but also for security purposes because he is a pro athlete. And he really steps up to the plate. I feel like this was a really sweet book. I really, really enjoyed it. There's like, it just really kept my interest in the whole book. So I think it's worth reading. Also,
Okay.
he decides to order, and I think I talked about this many months ago when I talked about this book, but I'm going to say it again. He gets online to order pregnancy books so he can really understand what's happening and going on. And he finds a book called Pregnant by My Best Friend's Dad.
Okay. Well, that's not the kind of
Yes.
pregnancy book he's looking for, but okay. All right. Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, there you go. There were 10 surprise pregnancy, surprise baby videos. Oh my gosh. Recommendations in this video. You just spit it all out. Whew. Wrap it
Yes.
up before I say something wrong.
And again, go check out that playlist if you are looking for additional recs than what we just had here. And make sure you check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and sometimes Wednesdays for new videos from us.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.